Welcome to What the Nuts. I'm your host, the Blue Collar Joe. And in this week's episode, we've got some doozies. We've got some crackheads out in Southern California. We've got a mysterious porch pirate in Northern California. And we've got a murderer in Colorado. Or attempted, I should. All right, I like to read out of this book. It's Shit Trump Says. It's a segment I like to call
You need Jesus!
Jesus Christ, that's Jason Bourne.
You two motherfuckers need Jesus.
Holy Jesus.
That's right. That's right. So, this is Shit Trump Says. This is the segment Shit Trump Says. This is from August 21st, 2016. He says, I've been drawing very big and enthusiastic crowds, but the media refuses to show or discuss them. Something very big is happening. Yeah, we see it now. We see it now in the media today. All right, so let's just jump right in. Let's jump right into our, I'm going to go ahead and pull this over here so I can look at it and talk to you guys. This is in Glendora, California. So, basically, what happened was, all right, so there was these kids, these teenagers. It looked like I watched the video. If you guys haven't seen this, it's Twerking Vandals. Twerking Vandals. You guys can look up the video. I'm not gonna go ahead and play the video for you guys, but these dirt bags out here in Glendora, California. They broke into a parking garage, or they went into a parking garage. Maybe it wasn't guarded. I don't know. But they vandalized these VW bugs that were owned by Pink Sponge. Pink Sponge is a small business that, you know, they do house cleaning, they do office cleaning, they do that kind of stuff, right? So these suckers were up there, and they it shows one of them, the video as it rolls through. The video shows them with the fire extinguisher, you know, blowing the fire extinguisher off, and they're vandalizing the cars. They're busting windows. They're breaking tail lights and headlights, and they're just being a menace, you know. And this is one of the stories where it's like, really, you guys got nothing better to do than to mess with somebody who has nothing to do with, you know, you or messing with your people. Because I mean, they're just these are just dummy kids, I think. You know, this is what happens when dumb kids have too much fucking time on their hands, you know. They get tired of fucking TikTok and they're out in the streets. They're like, I'm going to make a TikTok video. The video I watched was the video of the security footage. So it's not very good, and it's not close up. It's from far away, and it shows the whole, a good portion of the parking area. Let's see here. So they do have a GoFundMe if you guys want to go find that out. I mean, you know, if you guys want to help them out, that's fucking cool. But I mean, this is the cost of doing business. You know, this is the kind of shit that could happen. It's like if you don't have insurance. But they did have insurance. From what I understood, they had insurance, and the insurance the insurance denied their claim. So, and I understand it's because they didn't take proper security cautions. Let's see here. Let's just go ahead and bounce from this story, because this story is rather disheartening, because it's like it makes you okay. So you start a small business, right? And you put everything. You work your fucking ass off, and you pour everything into this business, right? And you think you're doing everything right, and then these dirt bags come along, right? These dirt bags, and they tear up your stuff. They tear up your cars. They tear up your cleaning products in the cars. Vacuums. They pull vacuums out and start throwing the vacuums around. It's disheartening, It makes you wonder, like, where are these kids' parents at? Like they obviously don't have no sense, So
You two motherfuckers need Jesus.
that's right. These motherfuckers need Jesus. All right, so let's move on. Okay, so that was in Glendora. So now let's jump up here to Sacramento. Sacramento, right? Now this is an older story. You guys have probably heard this. I just seen it the other day. Now I looked at this. This is a porch video. This is a video of one of those cameras on the porch, and it's like, right? So it's watching, right? This is obvious. A person quite small and is willing to leave the house in their house shoes. This person got down, threw a bag on, saw that there was a package delivered, walked up the front walk to the door. You can see the house shoes. They look like furry slippers. They look like furry slippers to me. I kind of, I kind of got slowed it down and looked at it. It looks to me like somebody just, out walking the dog, or, taking the dog out to take a shit. And then they were like, oh, I saw Amazon fucking go down the street. I don't see you walking all over town in fucking house slippers. I think what I'm getting at is this person probably lives nearby. This person probably lives nearby. And probably, I don't know. That's my summation from what I've seen. But it turns out that the package was only worth $10, right? So this two that ordered the package was like, yeah, I just needed 2 iPhone chargers. I just needed 2 iPhone chargers. Well, obviously this person in the trash bag needed them iPhone chargers more than you did. That right there is a crazy story. Let's see here. I don't know. The police are stumped because I mean, all you can see is the feet. The article says white, but from the footage I looked at, it looked pink to me. So I don't know. I mean, he's out $10. The cops probably aren't going to do nothing about it, because they don't have a picture. I mean, what are they going to do? Everyone wearing fucking house shoes out in the street? I mean, just go to Walmart. Just go to Walmart. You'll find the person wearing the house shoes. So, I thought that was a rather funny story that would, be quite uplifting. Let's move on. Let's move on to something else. Because there's some shit that's going on that I'm pretty fucking pissed off about. All right, so let's go to Colorado. Okay. I'm drinking coffee because I'm quite cold. So I want to preface this with this is like one of the world's dumbest criminals right here. This is like one of the world's dumbest criminals because this jackhole, he went on. This was in by the way, it was in Aurora, Colorado. You guys can look up the story. This gentleman, I'm not gonna say his name. He's an older gentleman. He's in his 40s. Let's see here. Oh, that's the bottom of it. Okay. Pardon me. So the headline is jury convicts Aurora man who threatened Burger King employee with a gun. Okay. Yeah, but what they don't mention right there is this dude, this is how dumb he is, all right? This is how dumb he is. So he rolls up to Burger King, right? He rolls up to Burger King and he's like, I'm hungry. I'm gonna get some fake burgers or whatever, whatever fucking Burger King sells. I'm gonna get me a Whopper, I guess, right? So he rolls up and he's like, yeah, hey man, I want X and this and that. And he orders a bunch of food and then he pulls up to the window, right? And he goes, hey man, I don't have any money, but here's some fucking meth. Here's some meth. Yeah. Here's some meth for the food. And of course, the dude in the thing, he slams the window shut and goes, no. So dude points a gun at him and then drives off, right? So he rolls out. He's like, yeah, F you can't give me a Whopper. So then he rolls up to the 7-Eleven down the street. He walks in. Okay, so he walks into the 7-Eleven, right? And this is what this crackhead does. He realizes that he's being video recorded, right? Because you walk into some 7-Elevens or some liquor stores or convenience stores, right? And there's a monitor, a TV up there, and you see all the different cameras that where it shows you, hey, you're fucking being surveilled, right? So he fucking goes, oh shit, boom, shoots the monitor, like that's gonna stop it from getting his picture, and then leaves the store, right? And then police investigate, and they're like, they talk to people in the parking lot, and he was like, yeah, they pointed the gun at me and my friends, and we hid and all that, whatever they told the cops, all right. So later on, Jesus Christ. So all right. So later on, around midnight, this very same night, this was October of 2022. Okay, so this was a few years ago. So while all this is going on, right? This dude goes to this apartment complex, right? He's like, I'm gonna go find I guess somewhere to sleep, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if he doesn't have a house or what. It's like he's just wandering aimlessly, like just menacing people, right? So he knocks on this lady's door, right? And she calls the cops. She tells the dispatcher that the guy that's outside knocking on her house is she only knows him by the first name. And when she refused to open the door, he fired shots at the door. So the cops show up and they get his ass. Because, he obviously he's dumb. Like, you're knocking on somebody's door in the middle of the night. You think they're not going to call the police? Shoot. But anyways, so this dude just got I don't got the sentence in this news report, but this guy got found guilty of 8 counts of attempted murder with extreme indifference, 4 counts of felony menacing, illegal discharge of a firearm, possession of a controlled substance, harassment, and 2 counts of reckless endangerment. So this dude is looking at 400 years. Like, dude, you just effed your life off. I mean, you're only probably going to live another freaking 40 years anyway. So you get to do that behind bars. I mean, I don't think this dude's going to see the light of day again. But, what can I say? All right. So now on to some shit that really made me say what the nuts this week. All right. Some shit that really made me say what the nuts. Let me see here.
You're doing great, buddy.
Yep, that guy was doing great. That's right. I forgot. He's doing great. For you guys that don't know, that's one of the things I say to people when they're not actually doing great. It's kind of sarcastic. It's what I tell guys at work all the time. You're doing great, buddy. With a smirk on my face. All right, so let's move on. We're going to talk about this last thing. This last thing is going to fucking get me a little amped up. So if you guys haven't heard about Columbia University in New York. All right, this is supposed to be the epicenter of the smartest people in the country. Right? Like one of the places that is turning out some of the brightest and the best people of the world, right? I just don't get it how a place of higher learning is so let's see here. Let's pull that down. Pull this over here. I'm trying to get my notes up so I can get my thoughts together, because I wrote some stuff down, and then I've got a few things that I wanna put in myself. Okay, so this story is from credit for all of this. I'll have it in the description, but the credit for this story is the Daily Wire. And Ben Shapiro. Okay, I don't like speaking on subjects that I don't know anything about. And when it comes to Jews and Palestine, I don't know anything about it. So I look to other people who who I would think who has more experience with it. And I agree with Ben Shapiro's, a lot of his points on this. So when it comes to freedom of speech in this country, I don't know any of you have ever listened to any of my earlier podcasts or any of my earlier videos. I am a absolutist, a free speech absolutist. It doesn't matter how vile it is. You should be able to say it. I heard a story today about England. Okay. Do you know how many people were jailed in England for stuff they posted on social media last year? The number is like 3,000 and change. That's unacceptable. Your ideas should be able to be challenged so that you can learn and adapt to situations, or learn, from your ideas. Because if we don't have freedom of expression, then we're just walking around like zombies. We don't have freedom of speech. Oh, you can't say that. Well, can't say what? You're the word police now? So I don't have a problem with what's going on at Columbia University. So if you don't know what's going on at Columbia University, there's people, individuals who support a terrorist organization. And they've basically occupied Columbia. They've occupied Columbia University. They've all put up tents and kind of made a tent city in the square of Columbia. And they're chanting anti-Semitic chants. I believe Ben put it perfectly when he said that this is unacceptable, because the Jewish population of this school is now no longer allowed to attend. They're saying that, oh, well, we can't guarantee your safety as a Jewish student of this school. So you must stay home, and you must have remote learning. Ben Shapiro said that if there were a group of white supremacists at Columbia University in the middle of the campus chanting, "Blacks should not replace us," that would not last one hot second before the police were called. And yet, this has been going on, today's the 30th, and from what I understand, this article was from the 25th, and they still haven't moved people out. Let that sink in for a second. People have moved in, occupied, chanted anti-Semitic rants, have committed acts of violence against other students, that's unacceptable. We shouldn't accept this. I don't understand why it is acceptable to people. People are just like they should have the National Guard in there. Now, I understand that this is a private university. Columbia is a private university. They do not want the National Guard in there. But in all actuality, they're flying the Palestinian flag. They're chanting anti-Semitic things. They're committing acts of violence. See, free speech only goes as far as not calling for violence. I can say whatever I want, as long as I don't call for violence. That from this article, I pulled a few excerpts, and I did that on purpose because I thought they hit home. They resonated with me. Okay. Ben quoted Andrew Bates. Okay, he quoted Andrew Bates. Andrew Bates said, "While every American has the right to peaceful protest, calls for violence and physical intimidation targeting Jewish students and the Jewish community are blatantly anti-Semitic, unconscionable, and dangerous. They have absolutely no place on any college campus or anywhere in the United States." And echoing the rhetoric of terrorist organizations, especially in the wake of the worst massacre committed against the Jewish people since the Holocaust, is despicable. We condemn these statements in the strongest terms. So right there, that right there. For those of you that don't know the history of of America, we liberated the Jews as the Nazis. We were part of that war that liberated a lot of the camps, the death camps in Nazi Germany and across Europe. And to have Americans call for the death of Jews and a call for the death. I talked about this in a previous episode about calling for the death of America. That makes it unacceptable. We cannot accept this. If you stand by and you just let it go, it's going to grow. You have to throw a blanket on it and quash it like a fire that's gotten out of control. You have to throw water on it. You can't let this grow out of control. You know, the atrocities of October 7th have instead of being totally against the people of Gaza and Hamas, the events of October 7th have spurred this anti-Semitism. I find it disheartening that the people of this world, the people of this country, I understand there's evil everywhere. Don't get me wrong. I understand that. But to have that much hatred in your heart, that you want to exterminate, that makes you no better than Adolf Hitler. I'll say this again. The most highly educated people on the earth. I'll reiterate this. The most highly educated people on the earth often have the least amount of wisdom. Colombia is supposed to be one of those places with highly educated people. And yet they lack wisdom and the insight to see that they could be targeted. It's like you target one ethnicity or one social economical tier in this country. And you got the same thing as what's going on right here at Columbia University. You know, it's funny. In one of Ben's articles, I read a couple of them. It's funny how Columbia University has a code of conduct. Right? A code of conduct. Most universities have a code of conduct, right? And this is another excerpt from one of Ben's articles here. So the first code of conduct, number one, is be honest, ethical, and truthful. The second is obey the law. Well, the moment you've intimidated, threatened, assaulted other students, they should have quashed it right there. But it's obvious that Columbia is not following their own guidelines, their own code of conduct. Because they're allowing these people. They're allowing these individuals to occupy the campus and make it unsafe for their students. I'll leave you with that. Let you think on that for a second. I don't know anybody in my circle of friends or at my place of employment or even in my city that would want to feel unsafe. And yet that's what these administrators of this college have done. They have made the Jewish students, I'll say this, they have allowed the Jewish students to be harassed and to not feel safe at the school that they attend. I'll leave you with that. It makes me say what the nuts that these guys, these people in power of this prestigious college have just thrown their own rules out the window. I know this is a little longer episode than normal, so I knew I was going to go on a little rant. I want to thank you if you made it this far. Definitely hit that follow button, the subscribe button, whatever it is, wherever you are hearing this from. I appreciate you coming and checking me out and listening to me rant on about things that I don't understand in this world. I try and find understanding in reading, in watching videos, in listening to podcasts. And I'm just a blue collar guy just trying to put things in perspective and maybe help some other people find their perspective.
You're doing great, buddy.
All right. I'm doing great. Hey, thanks. He always catches me off guard. You guys, that's our show. I'm your host, Blue Collar Joe, and we'll catch you next week.
I heard you've been looking for me, bitch. Here I go. I heard you've been looking for me, bitch. Here I go. I hear that you're looking for me, bitch. Here I go. You've been looking